Hello, Road Atlanta and Drift fans. Welcome to Round 2 of the Formula Drift Championship presented by Blackview Deemed Advanced Auto Parts. Road to the Championship, sponsored by Gum Out. We're here at an iconic track, not only for motorsports, but for Formula Drift specifically, because 13 years ago it all began on these very few turns on this iconic track. I'm Jared Dienda, and joining me once again is Ryan Sage. Ryan, we saw some exciting, zany kind of Pro 2 action yesterday, but some exciting qualifying going into today's head-to-head battles.
Well, yesterday's qualifying was one of the cleanest I think we've seen in quite a few, even years exactly. I mean, Vaughn Jr. came out super strong. We saw guys like Mad Mike Whiddett trying the backwards entry. We saw Chelsea Denofa really pushing, trying to carry that momentum from round 1 to see where he could qualify and be up in the mix. And we've got a solid field of 31 drivers, so the number 1 qualifier will be getting a bye, and that driver is Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice little gift. Obviously, you know, you get the number 1 qualifying spot, 31 cars, so he gets a fast pass in the top 16, and me saying his name aloud in front of everybody across the globe. Let's talk about the format, what we're going to be seeing here today, the essence of drifting, Ryan.
Yeah, the head-to-head battles, tandem drifting. This is a single elimination competition where each battle consists of 2 runs. The higher qualified driver will lead the first run and will chase the second run. And for the judges, though, it is a very challenging job. There's only 3 decisions that they can possibly make. Driver A, driver B, or one more time.
All right, so taking a look at the track, from yesterday's qualifying to today's head-to-head battles, you're supposed to emulate essentially the lead car needs to emulate a lead qualifying run, but if you could walk us through this track again, there's some elevation changes, there's particular clipping zones and clipping points. Let's take a look at this overall track layout.
Well, that amazing quick run-up downhill elevation, 110 mile per hour entry for some drivers. What the judges have actually done has allocated where they would like to see acceleration and off-throttle areas. The red designates the off-throttle areas, the green designates throttle areas. Now, these are not absolutes. This is just an estimation of what they're looking for, just in case there is contact in an off-throttle area and a driver was on throttle, or vice versa. They're able to make a little bit of an assessment of that, but it is not an absolute by any means. Some drivers drive this course almost full throttle all the way through.
Yeah, accelerate, decelerate. I like the way the judges are really telling the drivers that, hey, we're taking note of your exhaust and your note, and you're lifting and accelerating, but overall style is one of obviously the largest points of influence. That's why drifting is drifting. That's why they're creating smoke. That's why they're doing angle. But overall, the acronym that is IFC.
Such an important aspect to drifting, the style factor, initiation, fluidity, commitment, makes up 30 points in qualifying. But in head-to-head battles, it's really what you can show the judges of your own personal style. How quick to angle are you getting? How close are you getting to clipping points? Just how dangerous do you look? And what do you bring to the table with your individualistic style?
All right, well, unfortunately, sometimes you don't put all the things together and you end up getting a 0. How can one driver gain a 0?
Well, these are what we call the absolutes. Of course, everybody knows spinning out, opposite drift. If your hood, hatch, trunk, or doors open during a run, that is a 0. Collision that is considered avoidable or unsportsmanlike. If a chase driver is not intentionally chasing the lead driver after a 0 was scored on the previous run, we call this sandbagging. That can be deemed a 0. 3 consecutive restarts is a 0. Performing an illegal pass or getting legally passed, resulting in a 0 for the driver that was passed.
All right. So coming to this round of competition, we have a new points leader because we only had 1 round. Chelsea Denofa kind of shocked the world a little bit because there were 2 repeats from last season, and that was our overall champion and our runner-up, that being Frederick Osbo and Ken Gucci. They were second and third, but Chelsea Denofa rocked the drifting world with just an absolute amazing performance. He went through some big talent out in the streets of Long Beach.
As we take a look at here at some of the highlights, you can see Denofa was just on point throughout the weekend. A lot of times we expect Denofa to do really well, and then he'll have a mechanical problem potentially, but this time the car held up. He's done a really good job along with his team to keep it dependable throughout, and he took out some massive names in the sport of drifting and Formula Drift, staying consistent all the way through and raising his hand on top as number 1 on the podium in Long Beach and the leader coming into round 2.
Yeah, it was just an amazing event for him, and you know, the other drivers are scratching their heads. Like you said, the big names, notably 3 former champions. Most currently Frederick Osbo, you know, 2-time champion Chris Forsberg, Formula Drift champion Vaughn Gittin Jr. These are some of the biggest names in our sport. And talking to Chelsea Denofa and hearing the murmurs and some of the quotes he's saying, I'm at 80%. I'm running at 80%. Talking to him in the pits earlier, he says it's just about him being mental, knowing that he needs to ramp it up. He doesn't need to show you all his goods right out of the gate. It's about keeping the car together, staying mentally focused. The question is Is it a fluke? Can he back it up? Can he come here to Atlanta with the momentum, with the gusto, and show these fans that he's still got it?
Well, to give you an idea of what he battled through, take a look at the number of event podiums from the drivers that he went through all the way into the finals. Osbo at 12, Gittin at 19, Forsberg at 27. Should give you an idea that coming into that event, how the driving level was so high by Denofa to take out these big names, especially guys that have done so well over their career.
And notably, Frederick Osbo with the second least amount of podiums, but he wants to be back on the podium in a large way as well. He is our defending champion. So does Frederick Osbo, with a target on his back, because he got an unprecedented 4 podiums out of 7 last year, can he do it again this year? And he didn't change too much of his package, so I got to think, he could do it.
Well, we saw Osbo once again looking very consistent, very Iceman-like, taking out some big names in the series, and he is certainly the biggest at the moment. But one of the things that has plagued Frederick Osbo quietly and now becoming much more loudly is the fact that he keeps blowing motors. Now, he did that in Long Beach. They repaired it. They were able to get it out. But now we're finding out that as we get into the top 32, Frederick Osbo has gone through yet another motor. He was towed off here in practice, and we assume that his team is going to be able to make it back, but is this a question mark on his repeatability as a champion here in 2016?
What that tells me is a testament to his hardworking team, getting the engine back together, getting it back on track, and fortunate for him, the engine breaks usually happen when we have an allotted amount of time.
Right.
So he's really gotten lucky. I've never heard of Norwegian luck. Usually it's Irish luck, but the Norwegian luck seems to be going his way. So we'll see how it all unfolds here for Frederick Osbo, who's currently sitting second in points with Gucci sitting third. But this track can really make or break somebody's career or road to a championship. But overall, let's take a look at the standings. We're only 1 round in, and we still have plenty more to go. But Ryan, take a look at our top 10.
Well, our top 10, breaking out first, Chelsea Denofa sitting on cleanly on top, 100 points. Obviously, you'll notice there's no qualifying points here as qualifying was canceled in Long Beach. Frederick Osbo in second, Ken Gucci in third, Odi Bakchis in fourth place, and Ryan Turk rounding out the top 5.
Then on the other half of it, the 6 to 10, you got Forrest Wang, the car number 808, Matt Field with that supercharged V8 S14, Vaughn Gittin Jr., former champion, another 2-time champion, Chris Forsberg, and Dean Carney rounding out that top 10. So a good push there for Carney, and we are just beginning to warm things up here in the overall Formula Drift Championship presented by Blackview, this being the Advanced Auto Parts Road to the Championship, sponsored by Gumout. Bakchis was just coming out really fierce. To be quite honest, it seemed uncharacteristic of Odi Bakchis the way he drove on that first qualifying run. So as Odi brings it back up to the top of the hill, we'll take a look at our Black Magic number 4 qualifying run, that of Chris the Force Forsberg.
Well, Forsberg on his first run laid down a run that put him near the top. He came back strong in his second run as well. And of course, the consistency with Chris is always something that we talk about. You can see just how deep he gets into that second outer zone, wraps it just a little bit long there on that second inside clip. But down the hill here, he has nice counterlock, good smooth transition back around, and that marks him into our number 4 spot, Chris Forsberg.
Moving right along, our number 3 qualifying run, the Beast from the Bay. This is a gentleman that I think when he throws it in and he gets aggressive, it ends up paying off for him, because you can really see his kind of style just exude from under the hood, behind the wheel, and all of it in Matt Field.
Well, Matt Field said that he would not be competing in drifting unless he was competing for a championship, and I think we're more and more starting to see the ability of this driver, this young driver from San Jose, and what he can do when we look forward to big things from Matt Field.
Our number 2 qualifying run, we just talked about him, and here he is. He is Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo, who is right now, again, getting a new engine underneath the hood of his SR by Toyota TC.
Well, Frederick Osbo, again, another driver with a lot of consistency. We talked about the plaguing technical issues, or the mechanical issues, rather, but when it counts, he gets it. He gets it done. Here in number 2, he'll get some points for qualifying, and he'll be chasing down Denofa. But, Jared, it was our number 1 qualifier, Vaughn Gittin Jr., that laid down the best run of the afternoon.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. coming back. He's got a new Mustang chassis. It's been the talk. His suspension. He hits 3 wheels. Watch him enter into the horseshoe. That front right wheel lifting off the ground, showing you how his car is dipping. He rode that white line as he entered the horseshoe, and he put his car in all the right places. A near-perfect run, just leaving a few points out on track, Ryan.
Well, you know what? Congratulations to him for that number 1 spot. I know that he loves this track. He's made a big name for himself here. He's had a lot of different things happen over the year, including the monster trucking. But no weather for us, just a lot of beautiful sunshine and getting ready for the top 32.
And now we are starting with our number 1 qualifier, Vaughn Gittin Jr. He'll be warming up his tires. A bye run for our number 1 qualifier, might I add, because we have 31 vehicles, 32 spots. That means kind of a gift for qualifying number 1. Here we go. Vaughn Gittin Jr., our number 1 qualifier, his bye run in his Monster Energy Nitto Tire Mustang RTR from Maryland. Ready to take his bye run into the top 16. The professional fun haver hitting the course here, officially turning wheels on what would have been our first head-to-head battle here at Road Atlanta. And Vaughn overcooking it into the horseshoe. Throwing some dust right, and it's coming right to our judge's way. And there it is, Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Just had to do that, huh?
Yeah, right? I mean, just had to kick up the dirt right in everybody's face, right there in the sand people. They're like, they're the sand people there in Star Wars. They're right in the pit. That is the mosh pit when they go off course in the horseshoe. So Ryan, a bye run there for Vaughn Gittin Jr. As he'll advance on, theoretically. So he'll go against the winner of our next battle, which will be either Stoneback or Matt Kaufman. So Jeff Stoneback changing things up this season. He parked his S14, builds it for a street car and a fun car. Matt Kaufman campaigning his same vehicle from last year, new livery, new graphic scheme. I have to say, kind of mentally seems a little more relaxed. Seems a little more relaxed in the pits, as Jeff Stoneback changes it up with a 370Z operated by the Chris Forsberg racing team. Coming into that first front clip, here's Stoneback and Kaufman. Stoneback, good entry. Coming to that first rear clipping zone. Into the horseshoe. Kaufman gaining some ground. Out through the horseshoe, you see Kaufman get up close to him. Nice evenly matched battle. I have to say, a good straight-up battle here, Ryan, between Stoneback and Kaufman. Nothing exemplary.
Yeah, good start for both drivers. You can see Stoneback using majority of the lane there. Kaufman kind of sticking with him as Stoneback passes through that first inside clip. Now Kaufman trying to look for an opportunity to attack Coleman up the hill, but Stoneback able to fend him off here as he tries to reach out wide, just slightly short of that second outer zone. Wrapping back around. Nice job on that inside clip. Now coming back downhill as both drivers transition. Good angle here from Stoneback. Kaufman coming through the smoke cloud, and both drivers wrap around and cleanly finish up the first run of 2.
All right, let's go ahead and alternate the order here. And get Kaufman will lead. Kaufman will lead as he's from Washington. That car number 959. Oregon, thank you. Here we go, throwing it in. Matt Kaufman in the first front clip. Stoneback a bit closer. Good proximity from him. Kaufman, great angle into that second rear clipping zone. Good transition. Stoneback having to back off a little bit now, tucking into that smoke trail. Good job by Stoneback. Yeah, Matt Kaufman from Central Point, Oregon.
Take a look at the early initiation here from Kaufman at the third standing cones right there. Very early initiation compared to what we saw yesterday. Most guys around that a little before the 2. You can see right here, Kaufman transitioning up the hill. Stoneback a little bit closer than Kaufman was, but a little bit of loss of angle there as he tries to adjust. Kaufman goes pretty deep into that second outer zone, wrapping around now slightly long on that second inside clip. Stoneback with him coming down the hill here. Little loss of angle there for Stoneback just for a second as Kaufman tries to find his line, moving back up the hill, and both drivers cross the finish line.
Like the way Stoneback chased him. It seemed he had good proximity. Kaufman coming into the horseshoe. He had a bit more angle than Stoneback. Slide him left for Kaufman, right for Stoneback. And Ryan says Stoneback. Brian says one more time. And Andy N says Jeff Stoneback. Jeff Stoneback gets the win, advancing onto the top 16. Don't call it a Stoneback. He's been here for days. as Jeff Stoneback, stone cold, advances on to the top 16, taking out Matt Kaufman. So a good run there, Ryan. I mean, I could see why they, you know, Brian was saying one more time. But, you know, Stoneback, do you agree
Kaufman
with that
definitely
call?
had some moments of brilliance there, very early initiation. You have to guess from, you know, looking at the run side by side that it was just the proximity difference on Stoneback's chase run that gave him the nod. But
yep. Justin Pollock, Juha Rintanen, JTP, Justin Pollock in the Roush Performance Ford Mustang qualifying 8th. Juha qualifying 25th. That means JTP, Justin Pollock will lead with the Finnish driver Rintanen giving chase. Whoa, Juha getting aggressive out of the gate. Nice job, but has to scrub some speed. Pollock looking really strong in qualifying yesterday. In practice as Rintanen. Man, he is just, oh my goodness. Pollock. You saw Pollock stall. I have to say that's kind of an advantage to Juha there, because if he was closer, he would have just been right there. Oh, man. Ryan, let's take a look at this again, but Pollock definitely stalling on that front clip.
yeah, Justin Pollock and Juha Rintanen, some excitement here at round of 32. Second standing cone initiation from Pollock. You can see Juha gets a little bit out of whack there, falls behind. But the biggest part of this run here will be as Pollock gets out of second outer zone. It sounds like he missed a gear here and then stalls up, and then Juha's nowhere to go, makes contact. Pollock decides to finish the run, but you can see his right rear wheel is definitely broken there. So we'll have a cleanup on aisle 7 as Juha Rintanen has his car incapacitated and Justin Pollock back to the start line, but I have to imagine that is definitely going to be to the fault of JTP.
And I was just talking of Justin Pollock. He's been looking really clean, really smooth, fluid through the course. And it looks like Juha will leave the track under zone power. That's a sign. It's a good sign for him. Make some noise for the Finnish driver, Rintanen. Like just a bumper, fortunately for him. Oh, that front left definitely looks. Is that front left? I don't know from this distance. So the judges are deeming Justin Pollock at fault. I can't see.
You need 5? You're at fault. You need 5? And then, are you going to get your car fixed?
All right, so Justin Pollock is at fault, and they're saying his spotter's up here saying that his wheel is broke. So obviously you need to replace that. You need 4 wheels at minimum, right? That's where the rubber meets the road. So Justin Pollock calling a competition competition timeout, that being 5-minute allotment to get his car back up and running. Seeing our next pair pull up to the line should be Tyler McCory and Christoph Blus. Tyler McCory and Christoph Blus says McCory. These guys have seen battle against each other before. Christoph's winning last time they went against each other. Christoph's this sophomore season for him. McCory, one of the busiest guys in motorsports in all forms of racing, from trucks to track to now drift. Tyler McCory leads that Mobil 1, Falcon Tire, Chevrolet Camaro, Christoph Blus, HGK, Achilles Radial, BMW. McCory, good angle. Doesn't get all the way to the outside clipping zone. Christoph Blus right there. Oh, and Christoph pushing too hard. The aggressiveness of his run just ended up biting him. The Mass Motorsports powered V8 BMW just coming to a halt in that horseshoe run.
We'll check out Tyler McCory here. Real good rate to angle there on initiation. Nice and smooth on that first inside clip. Good snappy transition back around. Now you can see Christoph's here looking for an opportunity to attack on the inside. You can see he starts to make his move right here, but then a bit too aggressive. He's unable to hold the angle, and Tyler McCory makes it all the way through the rest of the course without a mistake. So he'll have a big advantage going into run number 2.
All right, so let's change the order. Christoph's, unfortunately, making that mistake That could have a detrimental impact on the outcome of this. He's going to need to put down a solid lead run, and he's going to need Tyler McCoy to make a mistake here in order for him to truly advance. Kristaps from Latvia will be leading. Tyler McCoy from Danville, California will be giving chase. Team McHugh. And here we go. Kristaps, Tyler. Second half of this battle. Kristaps using the whole course, getting out to the rumble strip, tightening up too, that front clip, the Achilles radial smoke in Tyler's face. Kind of tucking out of that smoke trail as Kristaps gets to the outside clipping zone. Kristaps is doing exactly what he needs to do, but so is Tyler. Ryan, if he puts it together here, it looks like Tyler will be advancing on with that big correction by Kristaps. A great lead run by Blues, but unfortunately, with Tyler chasing him down and no mistakes, looks like he'll advance on.
Well, here's Kristaps on initiation a bit before that second cone. Big, long E-brake pull there for Kristaps to get through that first inside clip. McQuarrie coming through the smoke cloud as both drivers go uphill. McQuarrie not giving him much of a break here. A little wobbling there for McQuarrie in the chase position, but he's got a big advantage on this run here. Now as we pass through the second inside clip, both drivers transition downhill. McQuarrie trying to come through the smoke cloud as Blues max angle. Good smooth transition back around to the last inside clip. It's going to be too little too late for Kristaps and Blues as Tyler McQuarrie lays down two solid runs and that mistake by Kristaps in run number one.
All right. And taking a look, slide him left for Blues. Right for McQuarrie, and I have to assume they're all going to slide right, and there it is. Tyler McQuarrie, the Rock. Team McHugh advances on. Tyler McQuarrie advances on to the top 16 in his Mobile One Falcon Tires Chevrolet Camaro. So it looks like Forsberg and Andrew Gray. We're still waiting to finish out the Pollock Rintanen. So Juha, again, given enough time to fix his car with Pollock at fault for that accident, and Pollock, hopefully it's just a wheel, from what I understand. So now advancing on to the Scottish driver, living in Japan, Andrew Gray, a Formula Drift Pro rookie, going against one of the longest-standing veterans among a handful of drivers, Chris the Force Forsberg, a NOS Engineering 370Z on Hankook tires. Andrew Gray, the Power of Vehicles. All right, and here we go. Chris Forsberg initiating into that first front clip. Andrew Gray. And here we go, Chris Forsberg into that second rear clipping zone, Andrew Gray. Good chase job there by the literal chaser. Oh, and Andrew Gray shuts it down, just as I say that, exiting the horseshoe.
Let's take a look at this replay here, Jared, as Forsberg and Gray do battle here in the top 32. Nice early initiation from Chris Forsberg. Gray right in tow from the onset. Doing pretty decent so far, but Forsberg, the consistency always a factor for him. You can see here deep into that second outer zone, Gray's with him. Now watch Gray as he comes through this second inside clip. He goes wide here. He gets lost in the smoke of Forsberg and then becomes a non-factor. He actually almost shuts it down for a second, so it's going to be a big advantage for Chris Forsberg as he takes the lead in that first run. And you can see just how detrimental the smoke can be to the chase driver if they don't know their way. A lot of these guys, a lot of times, are driving on muscle memory.
Right.
And you have to be able to navigate through that smoke cloud with some confidence. And Gray, obviously, making his way into the pro class this year, just struggling a little bit through that last inside clip.
Yeah, I saw him on social media saying that he's excited to obviously go against Chris Forsberg, and he's going to give it all he's got. And this is the debut of this new vehicle for him. here in the Pro Championship. They pumped up the power, got some more, found some more, worked it, and wasn't able to compete in Long Beach, so this is the debut of his vehicle in the Pro class. So Andrew Gray off to the side, the very wheels that Edimus Odi Bakchis runs, as now Andrew Gray is to the start line. Forsberg will be giving chase. Andrew Gray initiating, whoa, using all the course is Andrew Gray. Forsberg coming tight, touching some dirt. Andrew Gray, that big four-door chaser, working it into the horseshoe. Gray with a wide swing around that front clip, way off of the front clip. Forsberg keeps the composure, keeps it tight, and whoa, Gray spins, and Forsberg makes contact. All right, so Gray comes to a halt, having issues around that final clip. Ryan, take a look at it again.
Well, Gray with the deficit, you have to imagine his spotter's letting him know he's got to pull out all the stops here. He takes a nice lead into initiation. Great job on that inside clip. He gets choked up a little bit, allows Forsberg to come up pretty strong up the hill here. Now watch Gray as he tries to reach to the second outer zone. He's going to go wide on this first inside clip. Now that is a passing area. Now Forsberg actually held back, stayed close to him, but did not make the pass. But I'm wondering if maybe he thought he should have right here as Gray spins out and then Forsberg makes some contact with the front left. So hopefully no damage there to either driver, but unfortunately for Gray and Forsberg as well, making the contact there. This should be an easy win for Chris Forsberg as Andrew Gray makes his debut here at Road Atlanta.
There you go. You called it, Ryan, and obviously the fans, if you know anything about drifting, Chris Forsberg gets the win. Andrew Gray, unfortunately, taking some contact, but Forsberg advances on when we return. More Formula Drift action presented by Blackview. The road to the Advanced Auto Parts Road to the Championship, sponsored by Gum Out. All right, Ryan, well, we are back here at round 2, the Formula Drift Championship presented by Blackview. Road Atlanta, thank you for tuning in. If you're here at Road Atlanta, tell all your friends they can watch live at formuladee.com/live to advance on to our next battle. Dean Carnage Carney, Patrick Mordaunt. Dean Carnage Carney, Oracle Lighting, Dodge Viper on Achilles Radials, Patrick Mordaunt. Drift Paddock, Koenig Wheels, Falcon Tires, V8 Power 350Z. Dean Carney, nice job. Pat Mordaunt initiating at the same time. Dean Carney, a lot of history of Dodge Vipers here, having some success. Can Dean put it down? Nice job getting to the outside clipping zone. Pat Mordaunt right there. Good composure by both of them. Ryan, we talked about that acceleration and deceleration point. Solid, strong run by both these gentlemen. Round of applause. Straight up, great composure, great chase job by Pat Mordaunt.
Yeah, I got to say, I've been really impressed with Pat's driving lately, and Dean Carney, always the top driver here, looking for a podium himself. And you can see right here, starts off strong, nice and tight on that inside clip. Now watch Pat as he makes his move up the hill, stays pretty close to Dean, trying to pull a little bit more of a gap, and he's able to do it right here as we get up top of the keyhole. Nice job by Dean going deep, but Pat is with him right there on that inside clip. Door-to-door action here as both drivers transition down the hill. Pat looking for another opportunity to attack as Dean stays nice and smooth. Good transition back around. Slightly, maybe 6 inches off that last inside clip, but otherwise a great run by both drivers here in the top 32.
Someone is going to need to have a standout moment here in order for it not to go to it one more time. I mean, if they have something like that, I'd kind of err on the side of seeing it go again. But, you know, with Pat Mordaunt, good chase job. Dean's going to need to chase him down. I know he's got it in him. Here we go. Pat Mordaunt initiates strong. Good flow, but taking that out maybe a little too early on initiation. Pat Mordaunt throws it in. Dean Carney right there. Some separation between the Z and the Viper. Oh, and Dean way off course. Dean Carney goes way off course there, Ryan.
Yeah, a bit uncharacteristic there from Dean. You can see, what you mentioned it, Jaron, just a little bit of a flub here from Pat Mordaunt. Very early initiation between the second and third cone. He is able to save it right there, just clips that inside clip. Now both drivers wrap back around. Now look at the separation here. You know, it was about that distance between Pat and Dean in run number 1, but Pat was able to close the door right around this section, then stayed with them as they moved down the hill. There's some separation here as Dean kind of straightens up a little bit, loses a little bit of angle, and lets Pat get away. And then he gets lost right here and just goes off course before the finish line. So Pat Mordaunt, pretty consistent in run number 1 and run number 2.
Yeah, and let me clarify. You know, obviously the earlier the better on initiation, but once you commit, you got to hold that angle. You got to wrap it around that front clip. He didn't get too much into the dirt. Yeah, he took out that front clip, and there it is. So unfortunately, Dean Carney, one more corner, and that might have gone one more time. I mean, but that was just too definitive, Ryan, as Dean Carney goes off course in the Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper on Achilles Radial. So Pat Mordaunt advances on. The Drift Paddock Koenig wheels, Falcon tires, 350Z advances on to the top 16. And he'll be going against Chris Forsberg. So right now, Juha. All right, looks like we're getting Juha out on the start line. Yes, and I'm going to elaborate on that in a second. Just when I say his name, I think of Busta Rhymes all of a sudden. As Juha Rintanen, and he is solo to the start line because Justin Pollock was deemed at fault. The contact happened. Justin Pollock was deemed 5 minutes to fix his vehicle, a competition timeout. Unfortunately, he was unable to fix his vehicle given the amount of time, given the allotted time. So that means Juha Rintanen advances on into the top 16. The Finnish driver gets his car back together. Go hard or go home, it says on his back window. The Achilles Radial Finnish driver will advance on. And now we have officially 6 drivers in the top 16. 10 more battles to go. All right, so we are seeing Odi Bakchis warm up his tires at the top of the hill. Man, Odi Bakchis in qualifying, that was pretty impressive there, Ryan. Just on that first run, really liked what he put down out there. Yeah,
Odi loves this course. You know, most of the drivers consider this one of their favorites, and after getting that win here last year, he's got to have a lot of confidence coming into this event, and he's always one to watch for sure.
Look at the other side of the bracket there on this battle. Cameron Moore, a Formula Drift rookie, the Nameless Performance SC chassis. The big heavy vehicle. Ueno-san's here in the building, and he's taken that chassis to around the world and built it up as a drift car. So it's great to see some new blood here from Cameron Moore as he makes his Formula Drift Pro debut. He's from Battleground, Washington, another driver from the Pacific Northwest. That's where Nameless Performance is out of, and notably Nameless Performance operates on the vehicle of Ryan Turk, the Gumout SR by Toyota 86. So definitely a lot of knowledge, a lot of hands and equity going into the build of that Cameron Moore's vehicle. So Odi will lead as he qualified 5th. Cameron Moore qualifying 28th. And these guys have never seen battle against each other. Odi Bakchis will lead. Cameron Moore will give chase. Here we go, Odi down the hill. Look at that, initiated at the number 2 cone. Scrubbing some speed, allowing Cameron Moore. Oh, Cameron scrubbing a lot of speed as well. Having to check up here. Odi getting an outside clip, nice job. Cameron a wide swing. Transitions out of the horseshoe. And Odi Bakchis finishes it out cleanly. Cameron Moore struggling a bit there, primarily in the horseshoe, Ryan. So we'll take a look at this again with Odi out front and Cameron Moore giving chase.
Well, Cameron Moore impressed a lot of people in Long Beach with his driving skills in the rain, but here we start off with Odi Bakchis. Decent initiation here. I'd like to see him use the e-brake a little bit less there and come through that first turn with his momentum as much as he can in angle, but he's able to pull a big gap here on Cameron Moore. Great job on that second outer zone by Odi Bakchis. And then right there, just a tiny bit long on that second inside clip. You can see Cameron struggling out of the keyhole. Not able to close the door on Odi Bakchis, so it goes through the motions there for Odi, and he'll have an advantage, pretty significant one after run number 1.
Okay, and we are seeing Cameron Moore now in the lead. Bakchis will chase. Here we go. Cameron into the first front clip. And Odie chasing him down. Cameron. Falcon tires as Odie gets into the dirt. Gaining proximity. Like to see more angle from Odie. Cameron maxing out the angle on that front clip. Nice job by Moore. Odie diving into the door of Moore and through that Falcon tire smoke. Woo! Cameron using all the track. Getting a little sketchy there as Odie pulls past him going up the hill. A good effort there by Cameron.
Well, here we go. Cameron Moore, initiation right at that second standing cone. Bakchis a bit wide as he reaches into that first inside clip. Drops a tire there as Odie, but really aggressive coming up the hill. Nice counterlock by Cameron. Decent job staying deep in that second outer zone. Does go long on that inside clip, and that allows an opening for Bakchis right there as Odie tucks up on the inside. Great angle by Cameron out front. Odie with him as they transition. Odie through the smoke cloud. Cameron finishing strong. And a nice run there. The second half. Here's the first run. You see Odie grab a bunch of e-brake here, and then there's going to be a little bit of contact. You can see that little bump right there after Odie goes on the inside clip number 1. As well, we'll see if the judges interpret that. But either way, exciting battle between these two competitors.
All right, so again, the judges really dissecting these runs here. Like Ryan was saying, Cameron impressed a lot of people, fans, and even the judges on how Cameron drove in the wet. From him being from Washington, I'm sure he has a lot of background, a lot of turned wheels in the wet. Here we go. Slide him left for Moore, right for Bakchis. Ryan, Brian, and Andy are judges, and it is unanimous. Bakchis gets the win. Unfortunately, I believe that horseshoe for Cameron just seemed to be his Achilles heel, so Cameron Moore will be parking the rest of the weekend, but definitely one to watch throughout the season, that nameless performance vehicle of the SC of Cameron Moore. Bakchis advances on the field suspension, ARC Performance, Falcon tires, Hyundai Genesis Coupe, advances on to the top 16. All right, so next up, Forrest Wang versus Jonathan Castro. Wang and Castro going against each other one time before, with Forrest Wang being the victor. But Castro's got a new ride, a new baby, and a new attitude with his SR by Toyota 86 on Nexen tires. Forrest Wang, new livery, same smoky big angle style. Traditionally not the fastest, but has sped up over the years, but definitely styles for miles from Forrest Wang. And Wang will lead as Forrest Wang qualified 12th compared to Castro's 21st. Here we go. Wang with a big angle. Good initiation. Lighten up the Hankook tires. Castro getting in the dirt. Wang into the second rear clipping zone. Castro very shallow, having to hold that angle, and that is not the position you want to be in. Again, you got to set yourself up, knowing Forrest Wang's style. You know, when you go against Forrest Wang, I mean, look at how much smoke is throughout this Coliseum here.
Well, I think Castro knew he had to drive aggressively here, but let's take a look at this as Forrest Wang. Good initiation here. Castro already looking for that back bumper to try to reel it down, but Forrest perfect on that first inside clip. Now Castro really throttling to get up the hill here. Now watch as he comes up. He's going to come up on the inside here, and he gets a little bit too close as Forrest wraps around this inside clip, and then Jonathan Castro has nowhere to go. He has to mow over that second inside clip. Now he's trying to chase down Forrest after that mistake. Forrest, nice transition back, very smooth as he throttles across the finish line. So Jonathan Castro looking pretty good in the chase position until he made that mistake in the horseshoe. And from there he was playing catch up as Forrest Wang looking silky smooth out front.
What happened? So Jeff wants to play Osmo's line at the line, right? He's the next pair. So Jeff wants
All right, so here we go. Let's go and change up the order here with Castro getting on the inside of that keyhole. That's not where you want to be. Let's see Castro if he can throw down a solid lead run here. Forrest Wang giving chase. The Get Nuts Laboratory Sylvia S15 on Hankook tires. Castro looking strong, very settled. Good job by Castro. And transitions out. Nice job. Man, a good effort there by Castro. But unfortunately, Ryan, with Castro going off course, man, big deficit.
Well, he knew he had to lay it down, and he does do a pretty solid job here, as Jonathan Castro. You can see good early initiation. Forrest Wang staying with him through that first inside clip. Good transition up the hill right there for Jonathan Castro, bringing it into the second outer zone, reaching deep, doing a good job there. Pretty tight on that second inside clip, just a little bit long, as both him and Forrest come through the smoke cloud. Now you can see a little bit of separation here towards the end. I'm not sure that's going to overcome Jonathan Castro, that mistake he made up in top of the keyhole on inside clip number 2.
Okay, taking a look, Castro and Wang. With Castro, again, a new vehicle, a new attitude, a new baby, his wife watching home from Dominican Republic. Forrest Wang taking an international trip recently over to IDC. Good to see him spread his Aloha vibe, Aloha style. Get Nuts Laboratory operating in Las Vegas.
After that, I'll call it out.
Okay, so here we go. Castro and Wang. Slide him right for Wang. There's Ryan. He says Forrest Wang, as does Brian and Andy. Forrest Wang gets the win. The Get Nuts Laboratory Sylvia S15 advances on. Unfortunate for Jonathan Castro. Next in tires, SR by Toyota 86 gets knocked out. So, unfortunately for Castro, that first run seems to be the uphill climb for him, and he is knocked out. But Forrest Wang, he's stoked. He's advancing on to the top 16. We now have 8 drivers in the top 16, halfway through our top 32 action. So our top 32 action awaits, as I am seeing Jeff Jones at the top of the hill. So I'm seeing Jeff Jones at the top of the hill. He is to go against our number 2 qualifier, Frederick Osbo, also second in points, but no sign of Osbo. But Lorette Nickel caught up with Frederick Osbo earlier today, and as Ryan and I were talking about, his engine popped right in practice before top 32. So Lorette Nickel caught up with the Norwegian Hammer earlier.
Hey gang, well unfortunately I'm standing in the cold pits with Frederick Osbo, who did qualify second, but his car isn't on the grid, it's in the cold pits. Can you walk us through what's going on?
We blew a motor. It's as simple as that, you know. It seems to be a reoccurring thing for us. What's crazy though is it's not the same issue. We keep having different issues all the time. What exactly happened, we don't fully know, but what we believe it is the main caps keep breaking. It happened at Super Drift a couple weekends ago as well in Long Beach. Never seen it before. We didn't have the time to build the exotic parts we need to amend it, you know, billet mains. So here we are, you know, and we're not pushing more power than we have been before, but it seems to be some magic dust or sugar in the gas tank or one of those.
So right now you don't think it's a case of too much horsepower?
I mean, you could argue that. It's just, you know, we pushed it so far that things are really fragile, and it doesn't take much for it to break. I think we're looking at the limit for this motor. The next thing we will do is build those really crazy main caps. That's pretty much all we can do with that motor. And if that doesn't solve these problems, I think we would have to look at maybe some of Toyota's stronger motors eventually.
And now, do you know what the team is doing right now and how they're going to solve this problem?
Oh yeah, I've seen it before. And, you know, what's cool is that I have the best team in the business. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, they've done this before. They got the motor out in no time. As you can see, it's already out of there in like 15 minutes. New ones inside the trailer, getting dressed right now. And, yeah, we're getting back out. And luckily we qualified second yesterday, which means we're on the right side of the bracket. That basically bought us a little bit of time, so fingers crossed we can make it back out.
Obviously a little bit of stress. How do you get your mind right for your competition?
What's really cool about this setup is that everybody has their place. And, you know, I keep asking these guys, is there anything I can do? And they're like, no, you can sit here and eat a sandwich, you know? And that's what I do, and I try and prepare my head for this. And before, when I didn't have, you know, a professional team like this around me and we were a bunch of friends doing this together, we weren't necessarily as dialed. So back then I would run around like a headless chicken, right? And when we actually pulled through and got to the start line, I would be, you know, frantic and stressed out. When this stuff happens these days, I tend to be a little more calm, a little more relaxed, and you know, I know these guys will do whatever it takes and they'll throw everything at it. So it's getting easier to handle this kind of stuff when you have a pro crew like this.
Frederick, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Laurent, and thank you, Frederick Osbo, as they are frantically working on the vehicle as of now. And I guess the car is back together, but as far as getting to the line in 5 minutes, we will be sending the next pair, and we will be seeing, we'll see if Osbo can get to the line, because as soon as Jeff pulled to the line, Osbo's not there. Then the Stefan Papadakis racing team of Frederick Osbo, the driver, they need to call 5 minutes. They called it. They're trying to get the car back together. So we'll advance on to our next pair, and time will potentially expire. Time will expire, and we'll see if he gets prepared for battle. Ryan Turk, Alec Hohnadell, a great battle here. This should be a fun one to watch. Two very charismatic young men, and Ryan Turk and Alec Hohnadell. Alec, a 3-year, this is his 3rd year of Formula Drift competition. Gittin in Juku Racing, Gittin Laboratory, Collab, V8 supercharged vehicle. Ryan Turk with that 2JZ gum out SR by Toyota 86 on Hankook tires. As Alec Hohnadell on Nexen tires. And there is Frederick Osbo. So Frederick Osbo makes his way back. Is that thumbs up? Is that good? All right, so the defending champion makes his way back, and he talked about the main caps. He talked about his team working feverishly. Round of applause for his team and the Papadakis Racing team.
Well, they basically timed this pretty perfectly. I mean, we get to the point where he's got to be at the line. As soon as Jeff Jones pulls to the line, his team calls the competition timeout. The clock starts ticking. He's got to be fixed on the ground and back to the bridge or to pre-grid before the time expires, and he did it with about a minute to go. So he is one lucky boy, and unfortunately for him, you know, they're going to have to take a look at a deeper solution to what they've been dealing with. But for the time being, looks like he's going to be okay. Yeah,
and that's just him pulling to the line. Put some horsepower, put some more, you know, panache behind the throttle, and we'll see if that thing will hold together. So we'll see. But yeah, and if he qualified any differently, you know, it could have been a different story, because with him qualifying second, here we are halfway through the top 32. So if he would have qualified differently, it could have been a different story. Here we go. Right now, it's all about Turk and Hohnadell. Ryan Turk coming down the hill. He's leading. Hohnadell giving chase. Ryan Turk initiated into that first front clip. Alec Hohnadell right there, transitioning up the hill. Alec Hohnadell ripping that Super Duke body kit apart off the front of his vehicle as Ryan Turk into the horseshoe. Nice job. Alec Hohnadell chasing him down. Aggressive driving by Hohnadell, chasing down Ryan Turk.
Hohnadell is extremely lucky that front bumper didn't get caught underneath the wheel here. Let's take a look at it. You can see both drivers very tight as they reach into that first inside clip. Now that's where Hohnadell loses the front bumpers. And you can see it stuck under the front wheel for a second. He's very lucky here that it did not cause any problems in his driving. As you can see, both drivers are door-to-door action here. Incredible job by Ryan Turk out front, leading the throw here as we come down the hill. Good transition back around. Hohnadell through the smoke line, and a good battle there to start off between these two, Ryan Turk and Alec Hohnadell.
All right, so Alec will now lead as we get all the fiberglass pieces picked up off the course. You guys having fun out there, Atlanta? Make some noise, will you please? Yeah. Beautiful day, absolutely stunning. Last weekend it was 100 degrees, triple digits. On Thursday it was raining. Friday it was still cold at night. But then today the forecast seems to be awesome. So absolutely appreciate those watching at home and those that are in the building here at Road Atlanta. Ryan Sage, I'm Jared Dienda. Thank you for joining us here again in the building or online, formulad.com/live. This is Formula Drift Round 2 presented by Blackview and the Advanced Auto Parts Road to the Championship, sponsored by Gum Out. Speaking of Gum Out, Ryan Turk is going to be chasing down Alec Hohnadell from Florida. Flow rider. See whose house this is. Here we go. As Alec throws it in. Ryan Turk right there. Wrapping around that first front clip. Alec Hohnadell sans the bumpers. Ripping into that first outside clipping zone as Alec Hohnadell. Here comes Ryan Turk. Nosing down. Getting himself a little bit of room there. There's Ryan Turk. Turk having to navigate through that next entire smoke. Back up the hill is Alec. Oh, and Turk throws some fire. And Ryan Turk, oh man, unfortunate for him. Turn of events, that last turn rearing its ugly head again, similar to like Dean Carney.
Well, it was a strong run in run number 1 for both guys. Pretty close, could have been even here. As we start on run number 2, you can see Alec clips that inside clip. Turk trying to stay with him, and look at the separation here as Alex pulls away from Ryan going up the hill. Alec does a great job filling that second outer zone. Turk goes wide right here as Alec, nice job on that inside clip, now moving back around, a bit more separation, and then watch, Ryan Turk is driving through the smoke cloud here, can't go anywhere, then loses angle, and the car backfires before the finish line. That first standing yellow cone is the finish line, and drivers need to be drifting through that. So Ryan Turk, unfortunately for him, a tough mistake, a tough battle, as Alec Hohnadell looking strong.
So our crew and staff, look at that, and there it is. Alec Hohnadell gets the victory, taking out Ryan Turk. Alec Hohnadell from Florida in Juku Racing Gittin's laboratory. So we are hearing that, man, what? So, yeah, so we are down there inspecting, seeing what happened here. Looks like a big diff issue here from Ryan Turk. Oh, man, so unfortunate turn of events, but Alec Hohnadell advances on to the top 16. Congratulations to, again, this gentleman, a junior year for him, 3 years. When we return, we'll get a cleanup on aisle 1 here. And when we return, more action here at round 2 of the Formula Drift Championship presented by Blackview. Are seeing Jeff Jones and Frederick Osbo. So Ryan, Frederick Osbo is back top of the hill, and like we were talking about, frantically getting back up there.
By the skin of his teeth. You know, it was a tough challenge. He seemed very calm in that situation. I think, you know, that's definitely takes a lot of development as a driver not to get paranoid in that situation that you're not going to make it through. And hopefully that will prepare him for this battle here against Jeff Jones, who was our winner last night in the Pro 2 event, round number 1. Jeff was, you know, just going crazy as usual, and congratulations to him. He looked pretty solid. And so we'll see if he can carry that momentum against the current champion.
Yeah, some wild driving last night from Pro 2. These aspiring drivers to drive in Pro, ideally next year for them. A lot of going off course, a lot of antics, but overall, Jeff Jones got the eventual win. So here we go. Frederick Osborne, number 2 qualifier, will lead Jeff Jones, giving chase. Coming down the hill into that first front clip. Frederick Osbo, looks like his car is obviously strapped together. Turns on the smoke machine as the next entire smoke cranks out the back. Jeff Jones in the Doc S14 turbocharged V8. Frederick Osbo swings past that front clip. Look at Jeff Jones dialing it in. Jeff Jones applying the pressure to the defending champion of Frederick Osbo. That Rockstar Energy SR by Toyota TC, Ryan.
Well, I think it's clear that Osbo is not at 100% here. You can see he starts off pretty decent with Jeff Jones right there in tow. Jones hits that inside clip. Osbo up the hill here. Now watch as Osbo enters into the horseshoe here. He's going to almost lose some angle. Didn't have his timing right. Then he shoots wide on this second inside clip. This is an area where Jones has an opportunity to attack. He gets close to Osbo, not seeing the momentum that we currently usually see from Osbo. And Jones taking advantage of it there as Osbo almost straightens out before the finish line. So, definitely seeing some interesting things here from Frederick Osbo as Jeff Jones will wait in the wings and head to the line.
Osbo has a DB to tire.
All right, so we are hearing from the officials and even from the spotter stand, Frederick Osbo does have a debeaded tire on his on his Rockstar Energy Drink SR by Toyota TC on Nexen tires. Motegi Racing wheels. So he has utilized his competition timeout. Jeff Jones chasing him down, like you said, Ryan. It seemed maybe a thorn in the side, but that obviously debeating tire slowing him down tremendously.
Now, if it is true that Frederick Osbo has a debeated tire, the first run will be judged, but the second run, I don't believe that Tech will allow him to get off the line with a debeated tire. So I want to verify that 100% just because we're hearing it thrown around here. But if that is the case, then that would mean that Jeff Jones would win this round because they will not allow Frederick Osbo to re-enter the course with a debeated tire.
A crazy turn of events here for Osbo as, gets the engine back together, but the debeated tire and him utilizing that competition timeout, now he would not be able to run, and Jeff Jones would get the victory by default. So Tech is not allowing Frederick Osbo to run the debeated tire, so Jeff Jones will run. So the first run will be judged, and now, Ryan, you're hearing from the officials that Osbo, unfortunately, unable to run, even though you love him. Amanda, I know you love him, but unfortunately, tire's not. Man, a bummer here, Ryan, for what transpired.
Well, we were watching the run here, and we were saying Frederick Osbo does not look 100%, and obviously, it was as a result of the debeated tire. So Jeff Jones getting an opportunity here to grab some points into the top 16, and unfortunately for Frederick Osbo, after having battled back from another blown motor, comes up lame on the the first run with a debeated tire, unable to finish the second run. It just doesn't stop for him. That's
crazy. So unbelievable turn of events for him and his team. Jeff Jones will advance on. Your winner from Pro 2 last night advances, unofficially, obviously, but again, if you know how this works out, Jeff Jones will be advancing on and slide him left. Jeff Jones gets the win, and Frederick Osbo, your defending champion, is knocked out in the 32. And that is a wrap. No risk it, no biscuit, no tire, no fire. So, unfortunately for Frederick Osbo, Tech not allowing him to turn him and burn him. So Jeff Jones gets handed the victory. Congratulations to Jeff Jones, the privateer. No tire sponsor. He had a Nexen tire on last night. I understand they were changing his scrubs. So this guy just out for the glory of his wife, supporting his passion. So stoked for Jeff Jones. All right, more than halfway through as we're advancing on. His Rockstar Energy Drink teammate. Where are my Tanner Foust fans at? Two-time Formula Drift champion, the Golden Child, back at it again with the drift story. As Tanner Foust taking on Kyle the Menace Mohan from Long Beach, California. Look at that. We have seen Foust and Mohan many moons ago with Foust beating Mohan. Different car, different setup, but now with Kyle Mohan debuting this new Mazda Trix GT Radial MX-5, he's ready to do battle. Tanner Foust, Nexen tires, V8 powered Volkswagen Passat. He will be leading as Tanner Foust qualifies 7th. Kyle Mohan qualifying 26th. And Mohan pulls to the line. The Rockstar Energy Drink Volkswagen Passat talking with Tanner, and he's excited to be back out here. He says it's funny, he was talking about his setup or his competition here between Mohan going against the light, Tanner's car the heaviest as opposed to Mohan's one of the lightest. So quite a contrast of vehicles, driving styles, and here we go. Tanner Foust leading. Kyle Mohan giving chase. Foust initiates into that first front clip. Tees it high and lets it fly like a golf ball as Foust brings it into the first rear clipping zone, second rear clipping zone, ticking the boxes. Mohan right there, wheeling through that Volkswagen Passat Next entire smoke is Moen. Moen hanging tough, but then comes up short, straightens out around that final clip. Moen seemed to be hanging tough there. I mean, Tanner Foust, one of the best in the biz, but Moen ain't no slouch until that last corner, Ryan.
Let's take a look at this here. Tanner Foust out front with Kyle Moen in the chase position. Both drivers through that first inside clip. Moen heavy on the throttle right here, trying to make up some ground. Does a great job on the inside right here. Closes the door on Tanner Foust as Tanner wraps around that inside clip. Great job by Tanner. Now swinging back downhill. Moen looking for another opportunity to attack, but as he comes through the smoke cloud, he transitions too early and goes off course and nearly straightens out. Pretty much straightens out through the last and final clip. So it should be an advantage for Tanner Foust as Moen just makes that mistake towards the end, but was looking like the aggressor there up in the horseshoe.
Well, with all that weight, you know, he allows himself to get a bigger tire, and then you have Kyle Moen, one of the lightest vehicles, so not as much tire. So the smoke trail, the contrail that's coming off the back of that Volkswagen is definitely blinding to the MX-5 of Kyle Moen. So throws him off his game a bit, but Kyle Moen, he's going to lead here, as Tanner Foust will give chase. Let's see if he can put down a solid lead run in front of the two-time Formula Drift champion of Tanner Golden Child Foust. Here we go. Moen, the 3-2-1 cone, initiated before that second cone. Nice initiation by Moen. The 20B rotary-powered MX-5. Looking very calm, entering that second rear clipping zone. Tanner Foust right there. Tanner Foust transitions out of the keyhole. Kyle Moen strong. Look at this Volkswagen Passat chasing down the little MX-5 of Moen. Make some noise for Moen and Foust. Ryan, break it down.
Real solid battle here between Kyle Moen and Tanner Foust. Moen quick to angle initiation there. Wraps around that inside clip. Stays on a midline here, good flick transition back. Like to see Tanner with a little bit more angle coming up the hill here. He tries to chase down Moen. Moen tries to go deep in that zone, doesn't fill it all the way. Wraps around the second inside clip. Both guys at counterlock there. Now bringing it down the hill is Kyle Moen and Tanner Foust. Moen looking for his line on the last inside clip. Hits it clean, as does Tanner Foust, as both drivers cross the finish line. So one of the bigger events was Moen. Bit of an early transition on that first run in his chase position. We'll have to see how much of a factor that played overall, but a fun run to watch between these two veterans.
Slide him left for Moen, right for Foust. Ryan, Brian, and Andy have their verdict. And Tanner Foust gets the win. Tanner Foust advances on to the top 16, knocking out Kyle Moen. Unfortunately, that last mistake, I have to assume, is the hill he had to climb there on that second run, Ryan.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kyle was looking really strong. He just transitioned a bit too early, and that can happen. I mean, as we see that smoke line developing down the hill here, you have to imagine putting yourself in that perspective with just those thick plumes of white smoke and knowing that once you transition, you hope that you're in the right location and using that muscle memory, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way.
Yeah, unfortunate for Moen because he's definitely looking strong. He's looking better than ever in that Mazda MX-5. I'm looking forward to seeing him at Orlando and turning it up. But Tanner Foust, that Rockstar engineering Volkswagen Passat on Nexen tires, gets the win and advances on the top 16. Moving along, Chelsea DeNofa versus Kenny Moen. Chelsea DeNofa, our winner, our points leader. But getting some words from Lorette Nichols. She had some words with Chelsea. Said he's having some issues with the car, not willing to disclose what's going on. And he or how he's going to fix them. But he does know it's related to driving the dirt. He needs to stop going into the dirt. So see if Chelsea DeNofa can keep it out of the dirt. Can he take on Kenny Moen, who's in that BMW? So it's an all BMW battle, Ryan.
Well, I was just going to say this is officially Chelsea DeNofa's first test as the leader of the series.
Yeah.
As he went through the field in Long Beach, had an incredible run. It's a new event. It's a new challenge. It's Kenny Moen on a track where both of these guys have incredible speed. So we'll see how Chelsea DeNofa acclimates to his new role as the leader of the champion in the series right now.
It's a responsibility. It's a badge of honor, but it's also a target on your back. And a lot of eyeballs are watching here on this GT Radial BC Racing BMW. He says, I was talking to him right before they went out to practice. He says, BMW, bang for the buck, one of the best drift cars you can buy. I'm not just saying that because that's me, but it's obviously personal opinion. It's personal focus, and It's personal to whatever you feel comfortable in, but we're going to see two BMWs do battle. And Kenny Moen, traditionally one of the fastest through, oh so smooth, oh so fast through the course. So Chelsea Denofa will lead as Kenny Moen will give chase. Here we go, Denofa initiated into the first corner. Ryan, like you said, a big responsibility here. Can he back it up? And the Gottville BMW, Achilles radial BMW, I might add, of Kenny Moen. Denofa getting to that outside clipping zone. Nice job by Chelsea. You saw Kenny Moen with almost a double initiation in the keyhole. Look at the smoke filling this Road Atlanta course. Make some noise for Denofa and Moen. Feeling like we're in Europe right now with the BMWs, the Gottville on the door. Kenny Moen, the fans are here. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's take a look at it again, Ryan.
Well, here we go. Denofa taking the lead. Moen in the chase position. Nice little flick there by Denofa. Moen trying to stay with him. You can see Moen gets out of whack here. He allows Denofa to accelerate up the hill. Denofa pulling away. Does a much better job in that section of the course. Comes off of that zone just a tiny bit early, but nice and impressive by Denofa after going in the dirt. He seems very reserved and calm, but maintaining a good aggressive nature here as he finishes up, and Kenny Moen tries to do what he can to chase him down. So now Denofa will chase down Kenny Moen, who will lead this run.
All right, so here we go. Moen will now lead. Denofa giving chase. After this, 4 more battles left at top 32. Where are my Denofa fans at? Chelsea Denofa fans getting that victory at round 1 in Long Beach. Kenny Moen fans, where are you at? Kenny Moen. So Moen will lead. Denofa will give chase. And here we go, coming down the signature Road Atlanta entry. Moen throws up some dirt. Denofa, our current points leader, gets lost in the smoke. Denofa now charging hard. Moen exploding, going on the inside of the keyhole. Denofa tightens it up to the front clip. Wide swing, smoke, absolutely camouflaging these guys. Look at Kenny Moen, the gap he separates between him and Denofa. Like I said, just quickly rips through the course. Unlike any other driver, man, his sideways grip is just insane.
Well, here we go, Kenny Moen. You can see big, long e-brake pull here. You like to see him use the angle of the vehicle to get into that first corner. And from the get-go, Chelsea Denofa nowhere to be seen. He's about 6-7 car lengths back. Look at the angle right here that Moen has. It's almost like he's going to spin out. He does go off course for a little bit, but he's able to bring it right inside that inside clip without knocking it over. And then big separation here by Kenny Moen, blazing through the track as Chelsea Denofa is trying to track him down. But Moen comes through the finish line at least 6 to 7 car lengths in front of Denofa.
All right, so as we are waiting to see what transpires here. Oh, look at this side-by-side run here with Chelsea leading on the left, Kenny leading on the right, Ryan.
Yeah, taking a look at the side-by-side. As the judges will go through this, you'll see both drivers. You can see a little bit of a tap right there by Kenny Moen, and that's what causes him to get out of whack. Now, it didn't really affect Denofa, so that it's obviously going to be a mistake on Moen. But it's the second run where Moen is able to pull a big gap, throw some big angle up in the horseshoe here as you take a look at both runs, and obviously incredibly challenging for both drivers going through those massive plumes of smoke. As we can see coming out of the keyhole down the hill now, Moen and Denofa, a great display of driving here in tough conditions.
That actually, I think that contact benefited Denofa there because Moen actually got backed off and created some separation. So let's see, what do we got here? Slide him left for Moen, right for Denofa. I'm seeing a one more time from Ryan. Brian saying, one more time, they're going at it again. A one more time battle. It's unanimous. A one more time battle between Denofa and Moen. I agree. I mean, there's, obviously the contact there. Denofa kept his composure. I like that, but I think it benefited Denofa because it created that separation. Then on Moen's lead run, there was that separation there as well.
Yeah, I mean, contact and collision are the way that we distinguish when vehicles come into touch with each other. If there's contact and nothing happens, then it's basically part of it. It'll be a deduction. But in this case, like you said, it actually benefited Denofa that he stayed on line, stayed in it, but Moen was the one that got out of whack.
All right, so here we go. Moving on to our next battle. Both these guys residing in the Bay Area, Northern California. Matt Field, the beast from the Bay, 777. Let's see if he can pull the handle and get jackpot here against Faruk Kugay. As Field, what is going on here? Matt Field initiating. Faruk looking like, need to take a look at that again and from a different angle as Matt Field gets the outside clip, brings it in to the horseshoe. Exiting the horseshoe now is Field. Great angle. Faruk lacking the angle there. Faruk really kind of struggling, especially on initiation in practice. Let's take a look at this again. Was there contact, Ryan? What happened there? It was kind of weird.
Well, Matt Field and Faruk come down the hill. You can see Matt breaks it loose the other way. Judge is not really saying to do that. You can see the contact right there by Faruk.
Was there?
Yeah, if we roll it back, we'll show it to you one more time. But yeah, you can see Faruk bumps him. From what I saw there. And Matt Field, it did seem to affect Matt Field coming down into inside cliff 1. Well, let's take a look at that if we can again one more time. Watch here. You can see right there.
Yeah.
There's the contact. Matt Field broke the wheels loose the other way during his weight transfer. The judges were saying don't do that, but you could see that as Faruk came close, Matt Field's got a ton of e-brake here. There's the contact. So it's really going to come down to the interpretation. Matt Field not doing himself any help by breaking the wheels in the opposite direction. That was a very, very distinct thing that the judges talked about. Don't break the wheels loose in the opposite direction. We want to give a fair opportunity for the chase driver. But at the same time, Faruk was the one that made the contact. It's just going to come down to the interpretation of what was the actual cause of the contact.
Yeah, and Field, he looked...
And again, contact is one thing. Collision is another thing. But certainly we did see that after there was the two vehicles came into contact with each other, Matt Field basically had a pretty big adjustment. See right there, and then he gets offline. So
I think it'd be one thing if Field was kind of maxed on the angle. What we've been seeing from Matt Field in practice and everything, I mean, it's good angle, but you see him kind of counter, like he's going back. And just those small little nuances, the small just splitting hairs of contact, collision. I mean, these are just the things. This is why, rule books get modified and in the offseason changing things and what transpires and what goes on. And the devil's in the details as we await what transpires here for Field and Faruk. Again, Field leading. You saw the contact. Faruk falling off there after that contact, after that first front clip. The Formula Drift presented by Blackview. Win a Blackview camera. Text BVATL to 38714 for a chance to win a free Blackview dash cam. Again, text BVATL. That's Blackview ATL, but BVATL, it's abbreviated to 38714, 38714 for a chance to win a free Blackview dash cam. Blackview, over the cloud. More wheels for you to win. Win a set of wheels from Drifts, Hardcore Wheels for the Street. Tag a photo of you watching this weekend's event. Hashtag FD Drifts 16. FDDRIFZ 16 and enter to win a free set of Drifts wheels. ATDwheels.com, Formula Drift. So again, if you want to win a free set of Drifts wheels, the judges are deeming Faruk at fault for that contact, Ryan. That means Matt Field can inspect his car. He can check it out. And, yeah.
Yeah, and, we're talking about the initiation that Matt Field made. He was not supposed to do that. And I think the judges are obviously going to take that into consideration. But really the intention of that is if the drivers are side by side. Faruk was behind him. So I think that they will penalize Matt to a certain extent. But I believe what they're saying is that Faruk was at fault for the contact, irrespective of that was not the cause of the actual contact, Matt doing that. So, unfortunately, that's one of the things when you say don't do that and then you do it, and then there's another thing that happens, it makes it kind of crazy. But
right.
Either way, Matt will have an opportunity to take a look at his vehicle and we'll get those two guys back to the line.
All right, so still we have the one more time between Denofa and Moen, Field and Faruk. We'll see how that transpires. And now it's Essa versus Gushi. Let's take a look at Ken Gushi, our runner-up for the 2015 championship overall. As Ken Gushi in Long Beach, he went against Charles Ng, and he was, he was back onto his runner-up or championship form.
Yeah, Ken Gushi starting off 2016 very strong, coming in 3rd place, looked pretty consistent. Obviously got knocked out by Denofa, but Gushi continuing to take the momentum built from 2015 as he ended up 2nd place overall in the championship, just short of Frederick Osbo. He had that one bad event at Long Beach. Still has not got back on top of the podium, though he has a number of podiums and a bunch of 1st place qualifying positions this year. So Ken Gushi shooting for that win.
All right, so here we go. A former champion in Michael Essa, the loudmouth exhaust Achilles radial BMW. His wife and daughter here in the building, and Ken Gushi ready to chase him down. Here we go. Essa going to lead. Gushi giving chase. Essa initiates into the first corner. Nice job, transitions through. Nice angle from Essa. Gushi surging an attack, shooting out that first rear clipping zone marker. Man, those Achilles, more like a Chili's chili pepper. These things are smoking right now. Michael Essa absolutely just stink bombing the place right now. Whew. The smoke absolutely filling this Road Atlanta course run.
Well, big angle on initiation by Michael Essa here. Ken Gushi trying to stick with him as Gushi goes a little bit wide on entry. Now wrapping up the hill, you can see some separation here. Now Gushi's going to come hot into the second outer zone here and fall behind, and watch the plume of smoke build up from Michael Essa as Gushi tries to navigate through. Gushi falling back again here as Michael Essa navigates through the latter section of the course, going a tiny bit wide on that last inside clip, but it's really the separation there between him and Ken Gushi that is playing the biggest factor here. Now Gushi will have an opportunity to take the lead against Michael Essa, who showed a pretty dominant performance there.
All right, so Gushi will now lead on his necks and tires. The Greddy Performance SR by Toyota 86 will lead. The captain of the Boost Brigade, the new brand. Don't make noise, make boost. Here we go. Gushi through the start chicane. Clean start. 2JZ powered, 86, initiates. Wow, Michael Essa shaking some weight off of that back end of the BMW. Essa tucked in. Gushi with a great degree of angle. Throws up some dust. Essa right there. Essa mirroring him everywhere he goes. Loving the angle from Gushi, but cannot shake Michael Essa. A great chase job, but watch, I mean, both these guys, exceptional runs.
Well, Michael Essa looking like the champion that he was in 2013. Now here we go. Ken Gushi, good initiation here, but look at Essa sticking to him like glue. Staying on the inside here, not giving him much room. Nice job by Essa, just a little bit of movement in the front wheels there. Gushi deep into that second outer zone, but unable to shake Michael Essa. Gushi trying to accelerate, coming down the hill here. Essa still with him as they go through this big plume of smoke. Essa navigates through it, noses in, and Michael Essa putting an exclamation point on it here as we round out some of our final battles in the top 32.
Yeah, that was a solid run right there from both these guys. Slide them left for Gushi, right for Essa. And there it is. Michael Essa gets the victory, taking out Ken Gushi, who came into this round third in points. So look at that. Both of the SR by Toyota vehicles knocked out. So a second and third place knocked out. And right now, Denofa, he's still to go against Kenny Moen. So the BMWs of Denofa and Moen. So 2 and 3 from Long Beach, knocked out early in the top 32 action, shaking the point standings up quite a bit. All right, so now back to visit Denofa and Moen. Denofa warming up his GT radials, the BC Racing BMW, originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And Kenny Moen. Kenny Moen from originally Oslo, Norway, in the Gottbill E46. All right, as all right, also, we're going to have a live band playing during halftime down in the pits. They're here to support Music Saves Lives, a program that promotes blood donation, the unlikely candidates. So we have a few more battles here to go, but down during the halftime break, again, it's an open pit. That's complimentary, courtesy of Formula Drift. That's complimentary with purchase of ticket. But again, thank you for the unlikely candidates who are performing during the halftime, promoting Music Saves Lives, a program that promotes blood donation. Thank you so much. The unlikely candidates. Well, who's the candidate that's going to advance on? About to find out. Denofa or Moen. As Essa, one of the BMWs up in the mix. Here we go. Denofa, our current points leader, taking on Kenny Moen in that first front clip. Wow, look at Kenny Moen. Tucked in formation, a serious BMW dogfight. Bavarian Motorworks. More of a Barbarian Motorworks battle here. Kenny Moen having to fall back a bit. Denofa getting into that dirt. An exciting run. Woo! Make some noise for Denofa and Moen. Moen, look at him. He was just nosing in. I mean, absolutely replicating that angle, Ryan.
Kenny Moen getting absolutely jacked on this run right here. As you can see, Denofa into initiation, grabs some e-brake here, and then right out of inside clip one, watch Moen just on it, boom, on the transition, lays on the throttle, maybe a few inches away at the peak moment there. Now he's on the inside here as Denofa goes wide on that second outer zone. Moen back in it again on that second inside clip, now wrapping it back around, headed through the smoke cloud, bit of separation here, but then Moen gets back on the throttle, closes the door again, and Chelsea Denofa and Kenny Moen putting down an insane run here in the top 32, highlighted by Moen's chase.
Yeah, as currently second and third in points, that of Osbo and Gucci knocked out. Could number one in points, Chelsea Denofa, be in trouble and get knocked out now by Kenny Moen. Kenny Moen, unfortunately, at Long Beach went to the wall and on his practice run in the unfortunate wet conditions and was unable to run. But now he is he's back at it again with the white BMW, ready to take down Chelsea Denofa. Here we go. Kenny Moen will lead. Denofa giving chase. Look at Denofa. Woo! Oh, gains that proximity. Falls down as Denofa. Oh, no. Kenny Moen goes hard. Kenny goes hard into the dirt. The yellow flag. Whoa, 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 hey, whoa, hey, hey, whoa. Okay. Kenny Moen. Yellow flag, ain't care. All right, well. Kenny Moen just throws some smoke into Denofa's face. And looks like, unfortunately, Denofa could be broken there. And Lorette Nickel, again, caught up with him earlier. He knew what he needed to do, stay out of the dirt. And he did get into the dirt on that last run, Ryan. But, man, Kenny Moen.
Well, you can see Denofa knew he had to push hard. He starts off really strong as Moen initiates big e-brake here. Denofa with him. And then as they transition to this section going up the hill, Denofa is out of the picture here. And it does look like he had a vehicle malfunction. As you said, you can see the flag there waving down Kenny Moen as Denofa limps to the middle part of the course. So, unfortunately for Chelsea Denofa, Gremlins wreaking control here. And Kenny Moen looking impressive as he develops momentum here for himself. He'll be taking it to the top 16.
Man, look at this. Yeah, Kenny Moen looks like he will be spoiler. And our current 3 points leaders knocked out. Unofficially, but you have to assume. Slide him left for Moen, right for Denofa. And there it is. It's official. Kenny Moen gets the win. And that Gottbill BMW advancing on. Chelsea Denofa BC Racing GT Radial BMW is knocked out. So we have 3 more battles left. 3 more battles left here in top 32. And the field, Matt Field and Faruk Kugay. All right. All right, so we are seeing Field warm up his tires at the top of the hill. There we go, Field at Faruk. All right, so give some clarification here, Ryan. Some things transpiring between Field and Faruk.
Yeah, you can see right there, before the contact, Matt Field actually broke the traction loose in the opposite direction during initiation. Now, the judges said that would be counted as a strike. And so that it's counted as a strike, that is a restart. So we'll see these guys battle it back again. It'll be done all over again. And Matt Field will need to come out with an initiation that does not look like that. So the judges stated clearly that that will be a strike against the lead driver.
So basically that is null and void. That didn't happen. That did not exist. No, and again, Matt Field is the only one with a strike. That's the only thing that has transpired after that battle. So fresh tires, fresh look. Let's go and send it here. Matt Field will be leading. Faruk Kugay will be giving chase. And we are ready to see him throw down here. Again, both these guys reside in Northern California. Faruk. All right, let's see what we got here. Toe to toe. Faruk, originally from Swidnik, Poland, now living in San Francisco. And the beast from the Bay, that is Matt Field. Black Tracks performance tune. Nice job by Matt Field. Faruk having some struggles here, having some issues, taking out the cone. Matt Field dialing it in, doing what he's got to do, not concerned about where Faruk is. Eyes on the prize, and that's back up the hill. A solid run by Matt Field out front. Faruk definitely struggling there.
Well, you can see here on the replay, Matt Field gets a good jump on Faruk. Nice and tight on that inside clip. Now Faruk up the hill really struggles here. You can see he angles up and then has to draw it down. As Matt Field stays pretty consistent out front, hitting that second outer zone, wrapping around that inside clip. Now moving back down here. On the throttle is Matt Field, as Faruk desperately trying to take action here against Matt Field, who looks strong here in run number 1. And now Faruk will make his way to the starting line. He'll take the lead against Matt Field.
All right, here we go. Faruk will now be out front. Matt Field giving chase. Faruk needs to throw down a solid run after a little bit of a lackluster chase run, unfortunately, compared to that of Field. Faruk diving in on that second, or initiating at that second cone. Oh, and Faruk shut it down. Matt Field muscling his way. What is going on here? Faruk overshooting Matt Field, and there he's off his rim. Again, too much aggressiveness could end up hurting Matt Field here. I mean, it was definitely a bare knuckle fight here.
Well, Matt had an opportunity here. He had a big advantage in run number 1. Just needed to stay back here as Faruk comes into initiation. Matt surging forward. You can see right there, Faruk goes offline. Matt makes contact with him. Faruk transitions back around, and then Matt takes the inside line and takes it away from Faruk here. So a really interesting turn of events of what could have been an opportunity for Matt to move into the top 16. We're taking a look again here from another angle. You can see right there. Let's roll that back one more time if we can, guys.
Just imagining what's going through Matt, you know, through the voice box of Matt Field right now.
Yeah.
Just get out of my way.
Here it is coming down the hill here. You can see Faruk is on the brakes. Matt makes contact with him, so the judges have their work cut out for him here. And then this section of the course, this is a little bit of a JTP Tyler McQuarrie reminiscent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little vicious here. I mean, Matt Field, you know, he's obviously trying to chase down Faruk. I think Faruk definitely slowed down considerably. But Field could have just backed off and let him ride, and he could have finished out the course.
Here's run number 1 with Matt in the lead. This is a run that Matt had a pretty strong advantage on here. As you can see, pulling a big gap on Faruk. Faruk makes that mistake coming up the hill. Big distance here as Matt Field looks strong on this run. Now, a lot of crazy things have been happening in 32. Osbo going out. Denofa going out. Gucci going out. A big mix-up here. And Matt Field be one of the other competitors, one of the top competitors that take a sizable risk here and miss the opportunity in the top 16. We'll see.
Yeah, so interesting turn of events here. Kind of a wacky run here from the get-go, from that run that was null and void to now this. I mean, again, Field had the strike. Boom, that's it. Go at it again. Field, I'd have to say, has a strong advantage going to this run. Field just knocking on his door like the police, absolutely, on Faruk's door. Faruk the Roof getting his doors bashed in here. Taking a look at it again. Here it is. Faruk initiates. Hits that clip. There's Field bashing into him. I don't know. I think just taking a look at it again, a lot of things transpire. I think if Field just would have pumped the brakes literally and figuratively and emotionally, I think he could have kept his composure and would be walking away with a win. But now there's just a lot of reviewing of the tail of the tape, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even if you didn't give fault to Matt for the contact, I mean, he did perform an illegal pass. So, I mean, he's not putting himself in a very strong position here. I mean, he had a very big advantage in run number 1. He could have stayed back and, you know, kind of cruised through run number 2, and he probably would have got the win here. But now he's leaving it into the judges' hands. But I think Matt Field is going to be at fault for the contact. But even if he wasn't, he made an illegal pass. So, at least from my eyes, you can see here. Here's the contact. Now watch Faruk. Faruk keeps drifting, and then Matt takes the inside here. He should have just stayed back and let Faruk keep drifting and let the judges judge that contact. But unfortunately, we've got this whole other turn of events up here, so a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I think if he would have made the contact, chilled out, let Faruk go, either make some mistakes or slow down, but keep the composure. That shows a more dominant, skillful drift performance. Right there, he's just absolutely muscling his way into the nose. I mean, he's beyond the nose of Faruk, and Faruk wasn't off course yet. He was still where the rubber meets the road. So let's, man, I mean, this, from what you're saying, this is potentially could go one more time because of just the aggressive move that Matt Field did. It was just really, again, potentially letting him get them. And knowing Faruk and knowing Matt Field, both these guys are very, you know, they get pretty aggro. They get pretty emotional and get aggressive. But so Faruk's initiating right there, and then Field pops a tire, his back left tire. I mean, he probably hit his bash bar, probably hit his rim on the bash bar. Right, I mean, all signs are saying that that's Matt Field's fault. I mean, Faruk reinitiated, Field just muscled his way in.
I think you can even make the argument that it wasn't Field's fault for the contact because Faruk slowed down so much.
Right,
but it's after the fact that becomes
that's
problematic.
one incident. Here's 2, and then here's 3.
Yep.
I mean, okay, back off. When he makes the contact, cool. Faruk reinitiated or whatever. Let that be. Let those chips fall. But Field said, ugh. Like you said, it was a bit reminiscent of that Tyler McQuarrie JTP scuffle, let's call it, at Seattle most notably. Well, Atlanta never seems to amaze us. You guys having fun out there, Atlanta, online, at home? Everybody make some noise. FormulaD.com/live, hashtag FDATL. The party continues here. A beautiful day. You guys are on the live stream over there in the tents. Team Rowdy, the VIP going on down there. And we got, I know the Drift Scum used to be here. I don't know if any of the Scum is still here or not. All right, so let's go to the judges. Ryan, I mean, it could say one more time. It could slide. I mean, let's see. Ryan, Brian, and Andy say one more time from Ryan. Brian says Faruk, and Andy says Faruk Kugay gets the win. Faruk gets the win and taking out Matt Field. So Ryan, after an exceptional run from Matt Field, Faruk making the mistake, the illegal pass offsets that tremendously.
Yeah, well, I mean, Matt obviously had a big advantage in run number one. Faruk did not have a zero, but he had a very big disadvantage. On run number two, I mean, Faruk did not have the cleanest initiation. I think you can make the argument that the contact was due to him slowing down quite a bit, but it was contact. It was not a collision. He gets back into initiation, and Matt Field makes an illegal pass on the inside. An illegal pass is a zero. So you've got a zero and a judge run by Faruk, and 2 of the 3 judges voted in that direction.
There you go. Right on. Thank you for the clarification. So what could have been Matt Field is now Faruk Kugay. Moving on. Here we go. Yoshihara versus Patrick Gooden, the king of spring break. Yoshihara turned 14, distribution Falcon Tire Subaru BRZ. The supercharged V8 S13 to Pat Gooden, making a big mistake there. As Yoshihara, the now right-hand drive Subaru BRZ. The V8 ripping through the course, back there quite a bit as Yoshihara heads back up the hill, and a dominant performance by him as Pat Gooden makes some mistakes under his own accord.
Well, Dai looking strong here. Pat Gooden shutting it down towards the end. He'll be sitting on a zero for run number one, but Daijiro Yoshihara looking pretty solid, nice and tight on that inside clip. Now wrapping back around, moving uphill, good throttle control, gets off right here, times it almost perfectly, becomes up a little bit short on that second outer zone. A little bit long on that first inside clip, but off screen, Pat Gooden's making all kinds of mistakes here. He shuts it down coming up the hill, and then down the hill here you can see right after Daijiro Yoshihara crosses the finish line, Pat Gooden crosses it without drifting. So now Pat Gooden back in the burnout box, making his way up to the start line. He'll be sitting on a big disadvantage here against Daijiro Yoshihara, your 2010 Formula Drift champion.
Yeah, Yoshihara,
2011.
you know that. It's 2000. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good. And yeah, those 09, 10, 11, 12 years get all mixed up, right? So as now Pat Gooden will lead, Yoshihara will give chase. Pat Gooden. So what is going on here? I'm seeing Pat Gooden back up, and Jeremy Lowe, his spotter, it looks like he is calling it. Unfortunately, Pat Gooden having some major issues, and it looks like Yoshihara will be advancing on by default of Pat Gooden unable to run. So Yoshihara looks to be advancing on, and this will be it. So Yoshihara advances on. This is as he heads back up the hill.
This has been one of the more eventful top 32s I think we've seen in a little while.
Yeah, I mean, just really interesting from from Long Beach and progressively through. We saw some wetness, but one more battle left in 32. Remember, we have our halftime break. We're back up here for opening ceremonies, national anthem, and all the festivities. Taking a look at the schedule, we're almost right on schedule for our 6 o'clock completion time. Halftime break is 6 to 7:30. Then our opening ceremonies begin at 7:30 local time. Just a reference, it is local time just before 6 p.m. It's 5:58 on the dial. So again, 7:30, about an hour and a half from this point if you're watching internationally. So don't go on social media and say, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? Your local time. Figure it out. There's definitely an app for that. So as we are now seeing our final battle of the top 32, these guys have never seen battle against each other. Mad Mike Whiddett, who had a great run yesterday in qualifying, and now Alex Hil Brun, he's going against him, who is a pro rookie. Mad Mike Whiddett in the 4-rotor twin-turbo Rad Bull Mazda MX-5, the Red Bull Mazda MX-5, and Alex Hil Brun, he is in that monster BMW. He is from Lima, Peru, and again, one of the drivers from Pro 2, making his debut in pro competition. The RTS, Team RTS, BMW, V8 supercharged vehicle. And our final battle of the top 32, Ryan. So here we go. Always the Nitto tires strapped underneath the vehicles of these guys. All Nitto tire battle. Here we go. Mad Mike Whiddett. Alex Hil Brun. Come to that first front clip. Transitioning up the hill. Nitto tire smoke being thrown all over the track. That's Alex Hil Brun. The cone being thrown up in Alex's face. Mad Mike transitions back up the hill. Punting that final clip is Alex. You can see that red smoke being thrown up. That's not red smoke, that is dust.
Well, Mad Mike Whiddett continuing to impress here, taking on Alex Hil Brun. Into initiation is Mad Mike. Great use of angle there, but does take out that inside clip just barely. Dropping a tire real quick, heading up the hill. Nice job by Mad Mike, really deep into the second outer zone, but Alex closing the door on the Kiwi as they wrap back around down the hill here. Nice job by Mad Mike. Alex trying to close the door and then pushes really hard right here. You can see his left and right tire just glazing off course for a second there. So we'll see the second half of this battle as Alex Hil Brun will take the lead against Mad Mike Whiddett.
All right, so just to clarify that we did allow Pat Gooden a competition timeout, but just too many technical issues. So Pat Gooden does retire. We will see Yoshihara have his bye run, which would then give him the victory and advance on to the top 16 officially. But we are hearing that Pat Gooden is out for the weekend. Yeah, buddy, look at these hard-working corner workers. Round of applause. Look at this guy run up the hill, working hard, getting those cones, running all over the course. Talking horsepower, no, we're talking manpower right now. That one man running up the hill, keeping the track safe, keeping the markers on lock. Hard-working staff here and crew. Thank you to all the corner workers and safety officials and Formula Drift staff. Here we go. Alex out front. Whiddett giving chase. Mad Mike. Tony, Link Jet. Here comes Dad down the pipe in the first clip. Alex Hil Brun, the Peruvian warrior, throws it in. Nice job. Good transition, good angle. Alex Hil Brun coming in hot to that second rear clipping zone. Good execution. Mad Mike Whiddett taking a bit of shallower line, gains that proximity. Nice job. Tucked in the smoke. In the formation. Alex, good angle, headed up the hill. Great run there by Alex out front. Mad Mike Whiddett.
Both drivers making it interesting here. Alex initiating by the second standing cone. Mad Mike Whiddett looking for that back bumper, trying to ride up the hill together here. Some separation. You can see Mad Mike trying to close the door. Alex does a great job in that zone. So did Mad Mike. Mad Mike trying to tighten it up here. Now down the hill they come. Mike trying to close it. Some high points by both drivers. Alex pulling a gap on Mike at one point. Alex going off course before the finish line. We'll see what that means as the judges tabulate their scores.
Give a quick happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there celebrating around the world or here in the building. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms. Rosie Welch, she's watching at home, and no, Tony Cook. I'm seeing some Instagrams and some chats coming in as, again, Tony, Mike's wife at home with the kids, and Alex Hil Brun, who's going to get it? Who's going to birth an advancement? Mad Mike Whiddett gets the victory. Mad Mike Whiddett, and it's a one more time from Andy, but it's 2-1. Mad Mike Whiddett gets the victory and advances on. So Mad Mike Whiddett, our final gentleman to join the top 16, but Yoshihara with his quick bye run here on the course. Let's send it for our final vehicle, top 32, because Pat Gooden is knocked out.
You guys want us to close out 32 on camera?
So Yoshihara will go through the course and get his victory. All right, here comes Yoshihara, turn 14 distribution. Falcon Tires Subaru BRZ hitting the course as he advances on the top 16 as Pat Gooden takes himself out. Yoshihara, listen to this thing per Turbo V8 BRZ. All right, Ryan, well, it's been an exciting top 32 and a 16, some notable names. Bit of upsets. Our top three points leaders are knocked out coming to this round. Chelsea Denofa, Frederick Osbo, and Ken Gushi. You got the smoke bandana here. You're a criminal to fight smoke, but rightfully so. As Yoshihara leaves the track, we're covered here in smoke, but yeah, pretty crazy turn of events.
I mean, it wouldn't be Formula Drift if there wasn't a bag full of surprises. Seeing Frederick Osbo go out on something that you wouldn't normally expect after dealing with those engine issues. Chelsea Denofa fighting through it one more time, but unable to make it. And seeing Kenny Moen really surging and looking very, very strong. So we've seen a lot of crazy things shake up in the top 32. Of course, it's going to make for an incredible top 16 as the lights come down, or the lights come up and the sun goes down. And we look forward to a tremendous night with everybody here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back here in just about an hour and a half, 7:30 local time, and that is Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of Ryan Sage, I'm Jared Deanna. We'll see you back here just a little under an hour and a half for our top 16 opening ceremonies. This is round 2 of the Formula Drift Championship presented by Blackview, aka the Advanced Auto Parts Road to the Championship, sponsored by Gum Out. When we return.